I'm Yvette Fielding. This week I brought my team to a place of great conflict and many executions. Welcome to Most Haunted and Jedburgh Castle Jail.
Built on the site of the town's gallows and where its medieval castle once stood, the jail was a classic example of an early Howard reform prison, built to give wrongdoers the chance to relinquish their evil ways. However, with the dawn of the Industrial Revolution and the attendant increase in crime, the jail was adapted to make punishment the order of the day. What attracted the attention of the Most Haunted team were the many stories of strange sightings, odd happenings, and the sound of phantom pipe music heard in the dead of night. With such a chronicle of paranormal activity, we could not pass up the opportunity to investigate.
This is the men's wing, and we're the first television crew to conduct an investigation here. Although the ground floor has been used for storage, with the top floor barely touched since it was closed as a jail, this is the one place that staff do not like to go. This wing contained 2 condemned cells for prisoners awaiting death or transportation. Dark shadows are seen floating across the floor, strange noises are heard in the dead of night, and a poltergeist is said to have made its home here, slamming doors and throwing objects at anyone who enters. Just about everywhere in this castle jail is haunted. The stories are taken so seriously that many locals give it a wide berth and refuse to enter. Strange lights, mists, drops in temperature and dark entities have been experienced all over the castle jail. One local legend tells of a phantom piper on the battlements, and both workmen and local residents have heard pipe music coming from the castle with no explanation. This area is where most activity has been recorded. A thick fog has been seen creeping across the floor. Also, the dark figure of a tall man is said to walk this area with stark regularity. But who is he, and why is he haunting? We have 24 hours to find out.
Would historian Leslie Smith be able to tell us more of the incredible history of this fascinating location and some of the stories associated with it?
We're in Jedburgh, which is only 14 miles from the borders of England, and because of that is likely to be a hotbed of fighting and taking of territory, and also lives here. It was thought to be built originally as a castle where we stand here, Fort David I in the 12th century. Now, the castle of David I in the 12th century was built here for a reason. The reason I've just said, because of the borders. Well, they're going well back. The Romans were here too, so it's been a terrifically exciting place, except for those who want a bit of peace and quiet, namely the neighbours. This castle has had many sieges. There have been a number of forces taking it over the years, and bloody battles. And in the end, in about 1450, the Scots go so sick of the place being taken over by the English, reason to come to the area indeed, they pulled down the original castle. Because the walls behind me and the walls we're now in are not at all from that period, but thought to be built about 1820, as in fact a prison, a straightforward prison. Very many people were hung here. In fact, it became known as Jedburgh Justice, which means hang 'em first and ask questions later. It's now an exquisite building. When you come here, you might think you even might like to live here. But there's lots of stories of ghosts. There's likely to be. Some of them back to the Roman time, some from King David, and some under its new remit, because there was great distress here too. Not just the hangings, but the torture and fear. I'm afraid to tell you that some of the justice was appalling. Girls were imprisoned here for incest when they had been raped by their own fathers. The fathers weren't locked up, of course. Girls were an enticement. The castle actually closed in the late 1870s, and now the ghosts are still here. Many, many people come here because of the extraordinary numbers of sightings, because of keys getting lost and dropped, doors locked when they were unlocked, and vice versa. Electrics going pop, turning down, people arriving with lamps to change them. I think tonight we're going to have an exciting time pulling back sheet after sheet from the court of time and finding out who still lives here at Jedburgh Castle and Prison.
I asked parapsychologist Dr. Kieran O'Keefe what he thought our coming investigation might reveal.
Well, here we are at another prison, and it's absolutely fantastic. When you first see it, you think it's a castle, but it was actually constructed to be a prison, wasn't it?
Yeah, and also being here as well, if you go up to the top to the battlements, I want to call them battlements, and look around, the view is just stunning.
There were a lot of executions in this particular area, and a lot of anguish and despair. Do you think that will create a lot of paranormal activity?
Well, of course, if we're dealing with people who are sensitive to that sort of thing, so Brian, the medium, for example, and other members of the crew that we're getting the understanding they may be becoming sensitive, then perhaps they'll pick up on this anguish, this anxiety, this general sort of negativity. But it's interesting you say that, because once you're inside and you actually look at the cells, it doesn't look very negative. You know, we've done some jails and some prisons where they look really, really horrible. And I don't know if it's just because the insides have been decorated well. They look very clean, and they don't look spooky. And I don't think we're going to have to worry too much about the psychology of people being in those particular areas.
What sort of paranormal activity occurs here?
Three main things interest me. Number one, the visual apparitions that have been seen. Number two, electrical breakdown. So items just seemingly stopping, even though they're fully charged and they have full batteries. And the last one, my old favourite, orbs.
Orbs. Yes,
Yeah.
my favourite too.
There's been quite a few groups that have investigated here, and certainly a lot of photographs and other things that have been handed in to the location. And a lot of them are orbs.
It's really exciting for us because, of course, we're the first television camera crew filming an investigation inside the jail tonight.
Yeah, there's actually a particular area. I know maybe other cameras or other groups have been into most of the jail, but there's a particular area where there hasn't been a television crew. And yeah, it's like going in for the first time. It's an adventure, isn't it?
The team are joined by medium and psychic artist Brian Shepherd as we prepare for the investigation of Jedburgh Castle Jail. What shocks and surprises does the coming night hold in store?
There's just sense of such despair in here. What the heck?
The door's gone!
Oh!
It's nasty. Oh, it's
The most haunted team are in the Scottish borders, in the picturesque town of Jedburgh, investigating what was once a notorious jail. We begin with a lit walk-around in the upper corridor, as Brian feels this could be a very active area. What phantoms will present themselves over the coming hours of the night?
So are there any spirits that you can pick up here?
No. As soon as we walked up onto this into this corridor, this landing, I am feeling the spirit of a man. Now I don't have a name for you.
Can you describe what he looks like?
Well, yeah, a tall man, very drawn-in face, grey but longish hair over the collar-type hair, long coat. Walks through this, as I say, walks through this passageway here.
Who is he?
Name, Josh. Joshua.
Okay.
Something like that.
Something like
Okay. Some tapping going on somewhere, isn't there?
Okay,
That's
carry
all
on.
sorry.
Joshua.
Yeah, but age about, I don't know, late 40s, 50s,
Okay.
early 50s.
What does he do? Is he a prisoner here or something else?
I don't think he is a prisoner, whether he was a jailer, someone who cared for the prisoners. He seems to be intent on a job, saying, a purpose.
Did he die here in the prison, or is it...
My thought is probably not, but because this is where he felt he belonged, he's actually come back to this prison.
Okay.
To resume his duties, to resume that.
And do you get from his essence, from his presence, that he was a nice person or that he was a not particularly nice jailer?
Well, in actual fact, I get the... I certainly get the feeling that he was a nice person.
Okay.
You know?
Because you hear these horrid stories, don't you, where the jailer is brutal and nasty.
Yeah, I think it's just because he had a job to do. He felt he very much belonged here. I don't think it's anything to do with the fact that he was an evil person or anything. That's not why we're picking this up.
And when was he here? What time period?
Oh, God. This was later. This was 1800s. Okay. 1800s.
So a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
No, not later.
Can I get you to be a little bit more specific, even if it's just early?
Sorry.
Or...
Yeah, early. I mean 1830, something like that.
Okay. All right. Okay.
1830, 50, yeah, something like that.
Okay.
What?
There's just sense of such despair in here. This does feel like a cell of some description. I don't know if you want to take a look.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a hell of a temperature drop and there's just this oppression in here.
Do you pick up on any names of any...
Something's happened to Kath. It's a bit of a state.
What's happened?
Well, we sneaked up here, and then Stuart thinking to get out of the way, and we have been stood petrified, held on to each other. There's loads of sounds, footsteps, everything in these cells up here. It was awful. It was really, really scary.
What? Just above here.
Well, let's go up. Shall we go up? Come on, let's do. So, you sense that they're definitely condemned cells down below?
Well, it felt like it. You get that feeling of, as I say, desperation, that total despair, cold. And yet, we come up here, and I get a similar feel.
Do you sense any spirits here where we're walking now?
Yeah, I sense something. I sense. Once again, I sense the spirit of a man. And I think that is a prisoner. This man was hanged here for crime of murder. But he wasn't treated that well by the warder at that time.
This is the gentleman?
This is the man that I see now here.
Yeah,
upon
but
this
the warder used
passageway.
to what, Joshua?
No, this is someone different. This was someone who didn't treat the prisoners that way.
Shh, are people moving about?
No, we're hearing that.
Can you hear that?
Yeah, door's going.
No,
Did the door move then?
you just move around in there, Stuart.
Again.
I swear to God, I thought there was like Kath and everybody in
Yeah.
there.
Sounds like somebody
Yeah, it
moving
did.
around.
Oh, there it is again.
That's it's up this end, isn't it? Of the,
I don't know.
I think I do.
Listen.
I know you're here. What's his name? We know you're here. Spirit, make yourself known to us. Make a sound. Or appear to us. I can see his face, grinning. Longish hair, bald on the top.
How old was that? There's somebody out there just, yeah. Somebody.
50 something, committed murder.
Yeah?
My battery's just gone completely dead and this is a full battery.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, it's just come back on now.
All right.
It went off completely, so
Went
that's
off
all right.
completely. Everything. And it's just switched itself back on.
What do you think it's off again?
That's
It's gone.
Yeah.
What? That's exactly the sort of phenomenon I was looking out for. One thing I said to you was I'd be watching on the EMF meter.
What's the matter?
The door's gone.
That door did go. It's not me, I swear to you.
He was against the far wall. That door just went
Yeah?
completely on its own.
Really?
I was standing here, Leslie was watching me just before she turned to you, and that door just squeaked and moved shut.
He was at the far wall. There's no question he could have kicked it or reached it in any way.
If I'm here, I can't reach that door no matter how. Anyway, I was right.
Oh, what was that?
There's that
It's a
thumping.
thump.
No. Who's standing in front of you?
No,
Right.
it's a thump.
It's the door again.
It's closing on its...
Right. If you come out and then we can see there's nobody in the room at all, and then if it closes again.
It wants to trap people in it.
Yeah. Do you think?
Yes, that's what it wants to do.
All right, Carl, go on in there then. But take Wigan in with you.
Yeah, camera.
What's his name?
Robert.
Robert.
I think Robert.
Robert. Oh. Hello, Robert. Do that again for us now. Try and lock Carl in the cell. Cell number 18.
Footsteps.
Thank you, Robert. Robert, back up a little bit, and then I want you, if you can run towards us with such force. Come on, Robert. Let's hear those feet running. Please, Robert. And again, Robert, come on. Come on, Robert. You all right, Carl?
Yeah, funny, I'm kind of freaked out in here a bit. I mean, I've been having a good look at this door. There's almost a part of me that wants to be in here and actually slam the door.
Oh, did you hear that?
I'm hearing stuff all the time.
I just heard it. Right here.
The investigation has already aroused some odd occurrences, from the apparent failure of the camera battery to the movement and closing of the cell door. Brian's art has given physical form to his psychic sensing of the spirit of Robert, hanged for murder, and we decide to make the switch to night vision and let darkness enfold us. Carl, Stuart and Leslie opt to hold the first vigil by the stairwell close to the cells that would once have held male debtors.
Is there anybody here? Are you from the time of the prison or from the time of the castle?
What was that? What was that?
You see, this isn't just a prison, is it? This has been a great castle. It's been,
Oh, yeah.
you know, I couldn't say because of Brian, but there were 140 people hung here.
Yes.
That's a lot of people for the time of the population, you know.
Come on, do something if you're here. What the? It's in the middle here. It's about here.
Yes.
This is what I'm not. If there's something, we're talking of something that was here, you know, 100 years before the prison. There could have been a space here where people were. Can you whistle for us? Let's go on.
Pick up, please let me go the back. Wow. Oh no, we're in that lock again.
Oh! Where did that come from then? That was round here somewhere. Can you see it, Leslie? Quiet!
Hey! You bloody bastard!
What's happening?
And there's a black thing on the floor. There's something running across the floor like a rat.
A what?
Look like a rat. A little black thing going across the floor. Assailed by audibles and apparent stone projectiles, Carl, Stuart and Leslie's vigil certainly seems to be provoking the spirits of Jedburgh jail. What further frights await as their explorations continue into the night?
What the hell was that? Kieran, you did that, didn't you?
It's nasty.
Shut this door.
The Most Haunted team are investigating what was once a notorious jail in Jedburgh in the Scottish borders. Our explorations thus far have provoked all kinds of strange happenings, from unexplainable equipment failure through to eerie noises and violent poltergeist activity. We rejoin Carl, Stuart and Leslie, whose vigil has already seen its fair share of these occurrences.
Similar. This door.
Maybe it's just a shadow.
Hello?
And I saw what looked like a rat or something run, but I haven't seen anything else.
How do you feel, Stuart?
Well, to be honest with you, I'm trying to keep focused on my job, you know, trying to get the camera shot, so I know I've come up here with you guys, you know, to do a ghost hunt and that, but there's so much shit going on, I'm just trying to concentrate on this to keep your mind off and stuff.
If there's anything here, please try to contact us.
And again.
That's like came up underneath the door.
Yes, it did.
Exactly, I was, yeah. Will I open that, Carl?
Oh, yeah, well, get your camera right in there, just in case.
Go on.
Yeah?
Go on, I'm in.
Let's go in.
Do you know, in some ways, I'd rather be in here than out there. At least you feel you can mind your back a bit, don't you?
Yeah.
Oh, Margaret McGregor. She was committed here in 1879. Oh! Margaret,
Careful.
Margaret, I'm sorry. Right, let's do this, Margaret. Let's discuss you if it's you.
What are you looking at, Leslie, on that board?
Here. She was committed for further examination 6th of March, accused of incest with her father. She's locked up. With her were 2 weakly infants, 10 days old. Presumed evidence of the crime. The first died on the morning of the 7th. At 7 o'clock, the second on the 9th of March. I found the dead.
Where's that? That's the stall.
It's Margaret.
That was
These
there.
2 dead babies, you see.
Oh.
That thing's just flown across the room.
The aggressive movement of the chair in the cell brings Carl, Stuart and Leslie's vigil to an abrupt end. Invisible horror seems to seep from every inch of the brickwork, to such a degree that Kath and I find ourselves transfixed with terror, unable to find our bearings within the darkness of the frightening building.
This has got a totally different feel. What do you think?
I'm absolutely cacking my pants.
Are you?
Yeah, I don't like this place at all. I don't like it. At all. I'm not happy. I don't want to hear anything. I don't want to see this because I'm tired.
I know where way out. Straight down there. Into the lit area.
Okay.
That's the way out.
I've not felt like this, Phil.
Hello?
I've not felt like this, Phil.
Hello? Is there anybody here? Can you make a sound? Make a loud sound if you're here? Is there anybody here? If there is, please make a noise.
Make a noise for us. Close one of the doors. Do you hear that?
I definitely heard that.
No, that could have been a cell door moving, but not here. It's going to go back downstairs or...
It sounds like it was in here to me.
Do you hear that?
Hello? Is anybody here? Make a sound again.
Get the cold breeze across your face and... Why don't we just walk through to the other end? Let's go get some torches going. Torches. For the sake.
Oh, is this the woman's bit?
Yeah, no, I don't. I'm not looking in there. Look. What, Kath? Just move. What is that noise? That's a flagpole noise, I think. Is it? Yeah. Oh, there's birds.
Kath and I were very spooked by our escapade, but I'm keen to continue the search for paranormal activity and ask Leslie, Kieran and Brian to join me on the corridor that houses the male offender cells, the area where Kath and location producer Stuart Harrison were convinced they heard noises during our lit walk around earlier in the evening.
You just laughed then, didn't you, Kieran?
I didn't.
Oh, hey?
No, I didn't. I
Did
swear
you
I
did
didn't.
anybody laugh?
No,
It wasn't me.
I could have sworn it was just a...
and that's exactly where Kath and Stuart were frightened before, just here.
Are you a bit anxious?
I'll be honest, I'm a little bit anxious.
Oh, great. I don't need you to be anxious, Kieran. No, I don't.
Excited.
What the hell was that?
Kieran, you did that, didn't you?
The breath sound?
Yes.
No, I thought it was behind us. I thought it was
Oh,
Brian.
shit. How loud was that?
What the hell was that?
Kieran, you did that, didn't you?
What the hell was that?
Kieran, you did that, didn't you?
Brian, was that you? Did you clear your...
No, it wasn't me.
That was absolutely clear.
That was so clear. That was a real...
But guarantee it came from behind
Is that you?
me.
We came from behind you. Yes, yes. I thought it was you. I thought it was you.
No. This is the cell where the door...
There were condemned people in here, you know.
Oh.
What?
It's all right, Leslie. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right.
Not very good at this, am I? Who was there? Brian? Did you hear that breath?
I saw a face right there.
What you want this, Leslie? Yeah. Do you want to go in there, Brian?
Come on, make yourself known to me.
You alright, Brian? You alright? You alright?
Yeah. Slipped and bumped into this
The wall bit.
sticking out, yeah.
You know what we should do? Come out. Right? I've just got this plan.
Yeah.
The plan is, if we get our backs against this wall here, we've got the full view of the corridor in front of us. And I think that's a good idea.
Right. Good idea for anxiety as well,
Yes.
because then there's nothing.
Okay?
Right.
Get here, Brian. Brian,
Yeah.
you alright?
Don't worry.
Kieran, come here.
I was just going to get...
No, get here.
All right.
Robert, and your cohorts. Are you here, Robert? If you are, please, can you make a noise? There is. What is it, a figure?
We've just seen what I think was a figure right at the far end of the corridor, at this passageway. There.
You've got it, haven't you? You can see it.
Yeah, I can see it now. Dark mass.
You see, Miss Karen?
I'm looking through the viewfinder.
Right,
I'm not
okay.
using...
No,
I'm not
yeah.
picking it up on the viewfinder.
No, I'm not either.
Battery's just gone off thermal.
What?
Is that unusual?
Well, it's unusual, as in these are fresh batteries. And I always put a fresh one into the thermal and then carry a fresh one as a spare. And this one just isn't even switching it on.
So pretty much tired
It's
of what
completely
happened
drained, yeah.
with this now.
Let's have a look at it. Okay.
And we had it back.
The noises that we have heard lend credence to Brian and Leslie's conviction that they have seen a physical presence, and the loss of power to the thermal imager echoes the battery problems that Stuart experienced earlier. I am convinced that someone or something is attempting to make contact with us. What further manifestations will we encounter before the light of dawn draws our investigation to its close?
Thank you. Shut this door.
The most haunted investigation of the sinister Jedburgh Castle jail in the Scottish borders has encountered some violent poltergeist activity, with stones and furniture being hurled at and around the team. Eager to provoke yet more from whatever spirit is causing this commotion, Carl and Stuart take position in one cell, whilst Kath and Ian hold vigil in another, at the opposite ends of the corridor that would have held the male prisoners.
Go on, Kath, how you feel? Go on, do you want to start asking out?
There's just been a flash of light outside.
There's been what? Come on, if you're there, can you slam the door in this cell for us, please? You did it before?
It's moving. Is it moving?
No. Come on, if you're in this prison cell with us, can you whistle? Can you copy me, please? No way. No way. Thank you.
Don't leave me here.
Oh, come on, you go.
Where are you?
Oh! Oh, what? What's the matter?
What happened then?
The door just hit you.
Oh,
can't. You have to go on your own if you go. Go back in that room, see if we seem to do really well. You go in that room, we'll go back in here.
No.
Kath, will you relax?
You ain't doing this. I'm not doing this anymore.
Oh, shit! Something just got lodged at the bottom of this corridor.
It's awful. What are you doing here? It's nasty.
Whoa! That was right next to you then, Kath.
Right, look. I can't take it anymore.
What's the matter? What's the matter?
Things down there, banging and
Can we just go
the
down?
door slammed on me and pushed me out.
All right, Kath. Deal, you're all over the bleeding show here.
This is
This time?
It's all right.
Come on then.
I'm here.
Shut this door.
Carl, are you all right, mate?
I'm alright.
Kath, you all right now?
Let's split up again. Why don't we take this thing and you go to the top one where we were?
All right, but just be careful. That don't go near that door, though.
If you are here, shut that door. If you really are here, shut that door.
Come on, do something for us, you piece of shit! Right.
Get a hold door, get a hold door.
I've got it. No, I've got it.
Hang on. Oh, for a second, I thought it was shut.
Is it locked?
It's open now.
Okay.
Carl and Stuart's strange episode with the closing door is an exact mirror of what happened earlier during the lit walk round, where it was apparent that in order to physically close the door, one would need to be in much closer proximity to it than either Carl or Stuart were during their night vision experience.
One thing I said to you was I'd be watching on the EMF meter.
What's the matter? That door's gone.
That door did go. It's not me, I swear to you.
He was against the far wall. That door just went completely on its own.
I was standing here, Leslie was watching me just before she turned to you, and that door just squeaked and moved shut.
He was at the far wall. There's no question you could have kicked it or reached it in any way.
If I'm here, I can't reach that door no matter how I try. What's that sound?
I don't know. That came from here. Sounded like it. Could you please make that sound a bit louder for us? I can't, honestly, Kel, I cannot tell. I don't know. I can't tell where the hell it's coming from.
What the f***? You right?
Where did that just come from?
You right?
Yeah, fine.
What was that?
I don't know. Did it come from your end or ours? We don't know. We've been hearing noises, but we didn't know where they were coming from.
Well, we thought it was quite distant, that then.
It sounded like it came up here. It was distant to us.
Well, it was distant to us as well.
Come on, if you're here.
Oh, we've been so closely surrounded, Carl.
What's up?
I saw some just walk through that door.
It's on my way out. Carl, what's up?
Where did it get you?
What's up? Where did it come from?
In there. I'm not getting like somebody's hit me in the back of the sledgehammer.
The remaining hours of the investigation were filled with further slamming doors and stone projectiles, but as dawn approached, whatever was causing these disturbing phenomena gradually evaporated and all became calm once again. What would Dr. Kieran O'Keefe have to say about the fascinating activity we had witnessed?
The Most Haunted team started to experience some very unusual paranormal phenomena as soon as the investigation started. On the first walk-around of the men's wing, There were tapping noises heard, and at some point the door to one of the cells slammed shut.
Yeah.
One thing I said to you was I'd be watching on the EMF meter.
What's the matter? That door's gone.
It's not me, I swear to you.
He was against the far wall. That door just went completely on its own.
I was standing here, Leslie was watching me just before she turned to you, and that door just squeaked and moved shut.
When it happened the first time, it doesn't really count as evidence. But then immediately Carl stood in the cell and Ian was actually in there with a camera. Even though we've got 2 witnesses to corroborate the closing of the door, if I presented the taped evidence to other parapsychologists, they would be as sceptical as me. Because unfortunately we don't have a full shot of the door from the point when it's standing and the point where it's closing to the point where it stops. So in other words, uninterrupted motion. That would count as evidence. In another part of the jail, there was a vigil conducted by Stuart, Carl and Leslie. 2 interesting things happened. The first was that a stool flew seemingly of its own accord.
I found the dead.
Where's that? That's the stool.
It's Margaret.
Right, I'm right here next to Stuart.
We're just basing this on the witness accounts because what we have is the footage of the stool having fallen. The report that it actually flew across the room is just interpretation by the 3 of them that were there. What might have happened is the stool may have just fallen over. Either way, we don't have full unedited footage of the stool moving. So it doesn't count as 100% evidence of the paranormal, at least not from my perspective.
Given the nature of the location, it is unsurprising that the team encountered so much violent activity. Had we once again provoked and made contact with restless spirits of the dead, or is there another more rational explanation? It's up to you to decide. Until next time, sleep tight.